We have with us today Dr. Nabil from Kuwait, who is one of the leaders of Direct Aid. We also have the country director, Direct Aid, Dr. Ismail, with us, and the other senior staff of Direct Aid Nairobi office, like Sheikh Yusuf Ilaya. So first, let me take this opportunity to welcome them to Wajir. They are here with us, see with their own naked eyes this current situation in Wajir and how the drought is ravaging our people. So I have a very brief written statement that I will go through, then give them a minute or two to also add one or two. So the country is experiencing a very severe drought that is hitting the arid and semi-arid lands very hard. The hardest hit counties are, among others, Wajir. Experts have likened the current drought to the greatest famine that has happened in this country ages ago, and is characterized by the growing humanitarian needs arising from the drying up of water sources and depletion of pasture for the pastoralists. Animals are now dying in their numbers, and there is fear that we may soon encounter deaths of human beings due to the drought. While making a call for international support, President Uhuru on the 8th of September 2021 declared the drought as a national disaster, and later on the UN flash appeal on drought response was launched in Wajir County on the 30th of September this year. The UN appeal targeted about 140 million USD between October and December 2021 to complement government's effort towards restoration of livelihoods, health, nutrition, and other interventions for the hardest hit counties, which includes Wajir. Together with the national government and partners, we continue to support our affected population through the provision of water to both human and livestock, fast moving spare parts for strategic boreholes, fuel subsidy, relief food to the most vulnerable, bursaries to our kids, as well as animal feeds. We have this week mopped up Kenya shillings 200 million from departments as the first supplementary budget proposal for this financial year for consideration by the County Assembly. I appeal the County Assembly of Wajir through the Honorable Speaker to prioritize its approval. The drought, compounded by the adverse socio-economic effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, and active cross-border clashes between Wajir West and its Yellow North sub-counties have increased the burden on the county government and its people. Access to water is an urgent concern for both human and livestock. The main water sources for both human and livestock across all the livelihood zones are boreholes, shallow wells, and water tracking. All the water ponds across the county have dried up. When compared to similar previous periods, water condition in the county has worsened. This is attributed to the poor performance of the 2021 long rains. And of course, we did not receive adequate rain even in 2020. The cost of water increased, and it is attributed to the drying up of water ponds and frequent borehole breakdowns. The distance to water sources for both household and livestock has registered a significant increase. This is attributed to the depletion of broods and pasture when the pastoralists are getting far away from the water sources as they migrate with their animals in search of forage. There is high concentration of boreholes. There is there is high concentration at the boreholes, since all the water ponds have dried up. Because of the increased concentration, there is frequent borehole breakdowns and increase in livestock diseases. There was increase in the waiting time due to high immigration and concentration of water points. Poor water, sanitation, and hygiene practices contribute to high morbidity of diarrhea among children and general population. The situation is now degenerating to a worse situation beyond the means of the county government, and as such we appeal for support on the following areas, which we also discussed with our partners who visited us this morning in our in-house discussion earlier. Hybrid food aid and the cash based transfers for food in secure households, water tracking for settlements, schools, and health centers with no or unreliable water sources, fuel subsidy for strategic boreholes, upscaling of nutrition mass screening and outreaches, special nutrition for the under 5, lactating mothers and the aged, provision of livestock food. I finally want to thank Dr. Nabil, the Global Deputy Director Operations of Direct Aid, who is from Kuwait, and other members of his staff who visited us today to assess the drought situation in the county so as to identify areas of intervention. So thank you very much, Dr. Nabil, for coming. I think maybe now you can say one and two to the press also. Thank you.